Ba 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 baran.
Ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
Mega Rip.
I'm Woody, that's Raby.
Hello.
We got Greg Gorey.
Ahoy.
There is Menace.
Hey, hi.
We got Seabass. We got Sammy.
Morning.
Phones are open, 877-44-WOODY. That's 877-44-WOODY. You can hit us up with a text over to 22987. Apple Music released their list of the 100 best albums of all time, and I've seen a lot of things popping up about this. It's worth mentioning. It's their opinion.
Sure.
It's not based on streaming numbers.
No.
Or anything like that. It's just they came up with this list. I'm not sure if it was like the people who work for Apple Music, the employee vote, or it was just the work of one person. But yeah, so the top album of all time for Apple Music is Lauryn Hill.
Oh, The Miseducation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
which is a
Of
good album.
all time?
People have even grown more fond of that album over time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I loved it in the moment, and I
Yeah.
still love it. I think it's a
Yeah.
great album.
Okay.
It's just so disappointing seeing it live because of the way it was put together. Not a lot of people have rights to it. There were so many people
Right.
that
That's
contributed to the album that
Oh.
she can't perform it like it was recorded. So it's all weird, and so that part is disappointing. But the album is fantastic.
Fire.
The number 2 album, Michael Jackson, Thriller. See, I would have not batted an eye at that if you said that was the number 1 album. Got it. Abbey Road by the Beatles,
Okay.
who Greg finds to be overrated.
I mean, they are. I mean, even hardcore fans have to admit the
Sure,
worship is over the
Worship
top.
is insane, but Abbey Road's an awesome album.
An artist who I cannot stand, Prince,
Ah,
at number 4 with Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Although I do like that song. The song
Purple
Rain.
Rain is a great album.
Yeah.
The world's stupidest movie, but a great album.
Yeah, the song Purple Rain I actually like. See, here's the thing about Prince. I mean, his songs are catchy. I get it. But it's something about, it's just him. I find him to be irritating.
Oh, yeah. He was
weird for the sake of being weird.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But his music was awesome.
Yeah.
But Prince, he's an artist.
Yeah.
But dude, every time now, like if it's a choice between the two, 10 times out of 10, I will take Prince over anything from Queen. God damn it, do I hate Queen. I hate Queen so much.
Really?
Ugh.
I'm taking Queen over Prince.
Ugh.
I'll take Prince over Queen.
Okay.
And if I got to hear Bohemian Rhapsody
Yeah.
one more time,
Yeah.
it's another one. Like, ugh.
My thing with Prince is how he treated his fans.
Right. Like crap.
Yeah. He's like
And
Morrissey.
The
or
people who
even-
worked with him, like crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
The Apple Music top 100 best albums of all time. At number 5 on their list, they have Frank Ocean, his album Blonde.
Yeah, I think that's very
Okay.
a political move.
That's a trendy pick.
Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. All right. Number 6,
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. That's at number 7. Back to Black by Amy Winehouse
Hell
at number
to the
8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also
That
overrated.
nearly made my top 5.
Rated.
Yeah.
That album is great.
That's
Yeah.
one of those things. If she had not died, no, I don't think anybody would even pay
No,
attention
she
to her.
would be
She would've-
Adele today.
She would be.
Yeah.
Oh, she would be
No
a massive
way.
star.
Absolutely.
If she could have kicked her drug habit,
Yeah.
she would have a residency somewhere and people would be killing themselves to get there.
Absolutely.
Killing themselves.
She'd be headlining festivals.
Pun intended or no?
No pun intended.
No
Yeah.
pun intended.
If somebody could have gotten a hold of her and gotten her off drugs,
Well,
like her dad.
That's one of those I don't understand. Like, what was so great about her?
What do you hear her
Yeah.
voice?
She was
I hear her.
distinct.
Yeah.
She
Like-
sounds just like an old timey.
Like
Old-timey, yeah.
that album,
Yeah.
Back to Black, if you listen to the lyrics and you hear this, it's really short,
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually. But you've never heard somebody just get into their inner psyche more than that album. I love it.
All right. Amy Winehouse at number 8. Number 9 is Nevermind by Nirvana. Okay. I get that. Although on Sirius XM they have a top 500 alternative countdown.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, top 500 90s countdown. So it's the 90s on 9 channel they have on there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And the top 500 countdown of the 90s at number 487 or whatever it is Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, wow.
And then you hear all the other garbage. You're like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? I mean, that's the song that defined a generation.
That should be
Absolutely.
top 5.
Top 10 at least.
Right.
At
Because
minimum.
it's all genres on the top 90 stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. And that was
gosh.
Yeah, but
absolutely
the-
But it's
defining.
486 or 7, something like that. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, but let me ask you this
What?
though: the argument that you're trying to make about Amy Winehouse, what about Nirvana?
Yeah.
I know that the song defined the genre of music, but the
Yeah.
popularity, would it still be here without the
That's
death of Kurt Cobain?
I think just because of the style of the music, to me, Amy Winehouse is just like a rehash of old timey stuff.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Ow.
Total.
Ow.
And I wonder if
Gonna
that,
rehab. No,
But would Nirvana
no,
just be-
No.
Would they just be
Stuff
another?
is so good.
Yeah, another band on a lineup at a music
For sure.
festival.
For sure.
Beyonce's Lemonade at number 10
All right.
Eh,
on the list.
she's had better.
I've asked everybody here in the studio to come up with their list of their top 5 albums.
it was so hard.
I know.
God.
I had to like really look at it, and the what I would have said,
Uh-huh.
if you would have asked me like, what's my number 1 album of all time, I had to change my mind on it because I'm just looking at the sheer number of songs that I love
Okay.
Right.
from the different albums, and I had to re-rank them.
That's how I thought of it too. Like, what songs would you skip? And if it's none, that's going in the top.
Right.
Because here's the thing: there are certain songs that are your favorite songs.
Right,
There's
yeah.
songs that you love,
Yep.
and you're like, love that song, love that song, ooh, love that song.
Totally.
So that comes into play too.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked everybody to come up with their top 5 albums, and we'll go through that when we come back from the break. And then I have a clip because I asked everybody to take one song from your number 1 album for you, like what song defines that album or defines that artist to you. And so we're going to have that for you after the break. I mean, Apple's got their thing. Cool.
Woody Show's got that.
This is the
Yeah.
official one. I mean,
I know. Yours would be.
if you really want to see what cool
Yeah.
people think,
Yeah.
There'll be press releases about it.
Yeah, forget
you
these
know.
hipsters that put Frank Ocean at number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's next on The Woody Show.
The Woody Show.
All right, so we were just talking about Apple Music's list of the 100 best albums. Menace brought up a really good point,
Yeah.
which I didn't know,
Yeah.
but it turns out it's true, and it makes a lot more sense of why they had Frank Ocean's album Blonde at number 5 on their best albums of all time list.
Yeah, because it was released by Apple Music. It was an
Yeah.
iTunes exclusive.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but I not to say that the hipsters do not go overboard on Frank Ocean. They do love Frank Ocean, but
Them and Tame Impala.
Yeah. And I knew he would be terrible at Coachella when it got announced, and look what happened.
It was terrible.
And everyone thought I was crazy, but
Yeah.
guess what?
Let's
sucked.
see. What else was on the list? We stopped, at number 10?
Yep.
Yeah, Beyonce
Yeah.
Lemonade, number 10.
Yep.
Fleetwood Mac, Rumors at number 11. All right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Menace,
Love
Radiohead's
it.
OK Computer at number 12.
Another one hipsters go crazy for. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're terrible, but I hate the fans. They think
Yeah.
they're more important than everybody else.
Jay-Z, The Blueprint at number 13.
Yeah, don't disagree.
You
That's
got
good.
Bob Dylan, Highway 61, Revisited, number 14.
Oh.
There's Adele, Rave, at number 15
Okay.
with 21.
21.
Joni Mitchell,
Oh.
Blue, at number 16. That's one I feel is completely overrated.
Lame.
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, number 17.
Okay.
1989 from Taylor Swift at number 18.
Okay.
The Chronic from Dr. Dre at number 19. And Pet Sounds from the Beach Boys at number 20.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the Beach Boys.
No.
That Beach Boys doc is actually really good.
Is it?
I really enjoyed it. It's on Disney Plus.
Beach
It's
Boys.
done by
Oh.
Frank Marshall. He did the Bee Gees doc,
Surfing USA.
and
Surfing Safari.
he's good at
She's so
pulling
fine, my
a musical
409.
documentary together.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
Ba 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 ba
Baran.
ba
Ba ba ba ba ba ba ba ba ba.
Yeah.
Get in the Studebaker. We'll go to the beach.
Another super popular group with a super abusive, controlling father,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
much in the style of the Jacksons.
The Woody Show.
Well, Apple Music had their big 100 best albums of all time lists, and I'm not going to give you 100 here. I asked everybody here on the show to come up with their top 5 albums of all time. And so I'll just start with mine.
Okay.
Number 5, and by the way, honorable mentions to Linkin Park Hybrid Theory, So many great songs on that album. One Step Closer and Crawling and Paper Cut and Points of Authority. In the End.
Yep.
Run.
So
I mean,
many.
So many songs that I love. One album that I thought I would have in my top 5 that didn't make the cut, Rage Against the Machine's Evil Empire.
Wow.
With Bulls on Parade, Down Rodeo, People of the Sun, Viet Now, one of my favorite songs.
Didn't make it.
Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction was a consideration, didn't make it, but here's what did. Number 5 on the list, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Hell yeah.
Great album.
You Ought to Know, Hand in My Pocket, Ironic, You Learn, All I Really Want, love that song. Great album, really brings me back to a point in time
Yeah.
where, man, life was good.
Yep.
Life is good, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
it just that time in
Musically,
your time in your
life was
youth,
awesome.
you know.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It was better.
Number 4, Metallica's Black Album. Enter Sandman, Through the Never, Sad But True, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Nothing Else Matters. Great album. My buddy and I, we like went on halvesies on that to buy the CD, and if you could wear out a CD, we would have done it.
Right.
Number 3, Cypress Hill's Black Sunday.
Of course.
Insane in the Brain, I Want to Get High, Hits from the Bong, Ain't Going Out Like That, A to the K, When the Ish Goes Down. What a great album.
Yep.
I could just start to finish. Told you the story a million times about my senior year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 album of all time, Beastie Boys' License to Ill. Fight for Your Right, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Paul Revere, Brass Monkey, Girls, Slow and Low, Time to Get Ill, She's Crafty,
Yeah.
The New Style.
Yeah.
Love that song. Rhymin' and Stealin', Slow Ride. Dude, so many. But my number 1 album of all time, Run DMC's Raising Hell. So many songs on that one too. Walk This Way, My Adidas, Peter Piper, You Be Illin', Raising Hell, Dumb Girl, and of course the anthem, It's Tricky. It's Tricky. Number 1.
I would have not have guessed that.
Really?
I mean, I knew you love them,
I mean, I knew Run DMC would be in the
Yeah.
top 5.
but not number
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Met this little girlie, her hair was kinda curly. Went to her house and bust her out, I had to leave real early. Her parents are really sleazy, all they just say is please me, or spend some time and rock around. I said it's not that easy.
Yeah. All right, so that's my number 1.
Nice.
But man, it was tough. I'm with you,
It's
Greg. Like
so
it was
hard.
really
I
difficult to kind
know.
of narrow it down. Greg Gorey, your top 5.
Well, like you, I did honorable mentions, but I'm going to start at number 5
Yeah.
with Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. I was addicted
Classic.
to Pink Floyd when I
Yeah.
was in college. Time, Money, Us and Them,
Right.
Rules, whole album, start to finish. Number 4, obscure band, not many people know them. They're called Morphine, originally
Morphine.
from Boston. The singer, Mark Sandman, was only in his 40s, died of a heart attack while doing a show.
Oh, dang.
And they also
Drugs?
have a guy in and they had a
Natch.
guy in the band that would play 2 saxophones at once.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa!
I knew a chick like that.
Yeah.
So Morphine, Cure for Pain is the name of the album. So good.
Okay.
Number 3, I changed it last night. I had Moby play
Oh,
because,
yeah.
like you, if I
That's
could wear out an album,
Yeah.
I had one in my car, one in the house, one at work, one in the other car. I just
So
loved
good.
it. But I changed it, and I did put Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is an awesome
Just,
album.
Yeah.
I mean, just an incredible album.
I would love that album if it wasn't for Stevie Nicks.
You're so
Oh,
high when you say
I
that.
know. I
You're
love
so
Crazy.
on drugs.
Stevie Nicks so much. Number 2, this was a tough decision, but 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine.
I know you
could-
love 9 Inch Nails.
Wore that out as well. I mean, it's just start to finish, flawless.
And I'm willing to bet that the Killers are not your number 1.
No.
I think we all know who your number 1 band is going to be.
Right.
It's got to be an
Yeah.
album from them, but like I'm surprised the
Which
Killers
one?
didn't make the top 5.
Yeah.
Right. Number 1, I mean, you know the band, obviously,
Natch.
because it's the greatest band of all time, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
Factually.
Factually.
That would be Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people would say Violator because it's arguably flawless.
Right.
But my favorite Depeche Mode album is Songs of Faith and Devotion. And my favorite track from that is I Feel It. Oh, God,
Yeah.
listen to that voice.
Listen to Dave.
Listen to Dave.
Do I know this song?
You probably will want to hit. You might. But when they do this live, it's like Boing.
It's Greg
You
Boner.
might know this part. Oh, so good.
No.
My honorable mentions,
Yeah.
like I mentioned, Moby Play, The Cure, Disintegration, and then Violator from Depeche Mode.
Oh, okay. There's Greg's top 5 albums of all time.
Nice.
Yeah, Apple Music's got theirs. We've got our own. Let's see. Let's go to Menace next. Menace.
All right. Well, this was extremely difficult for me because I'm not an albums person at all. I'm all about singles. I would buy CD singles. I didn't really own a lot of albums. I always listened to the radio and made playlists. So just quick honorable mention. I probably listened to the Third Eye Blind album a lot.
Really?
And then I really wanted to put this on my list, but I didn't know if it was considered an album or not. It kind of is. But the soundtrack for the movie Go that was released in 1999.
yeah.
Great
I love
soundtrack.
that soundtrack. It had No
Yeah.
Doubt on it, Fatboy Slim.
Wasn't
DJ
there like
Rap.
some kind of like kind of electric EDM? Not EDM.
There was a ton of EDM,
but it was
like
like
dance
that-
music on there.
like a Magic Carpet Ride remix.
Yeah.
That movie rolled too.
Yeah, that movie
Everything.
movie was released in 1999. It was The Hangover before The Hangover. Go and watch
Oh,
it. It's
yeah.
called the
So
That's a
movie.
good
good.
description.
Yeah.
The movie Go. But my top 5 albums, and this is gonna be all over the place, but I would say number 5. Now these are just albums I probably listen to the most.
Okay.
Number 5 was the Styx Greatest Hits album that was released in 1995.
No
Okay.
way.
Yeah, Come Sail Away.
Mr.
Too much time
Roboto.
on my hands. Lady. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't really like the Lady version too much because it was like a re-recording, a
Oh, yeah.
1995
I hate it when
re-recording.
they do that.
But yeah, Sticks, dude, bangers on it.
Nice.
Dumb
Hell yeah.
bangers.
I would have lost that bet.
So I told you it was random.
So random.
You know, I love the band Matt and Kim. They're one of the greatest live bands you could see. So much fun.
They are.
High energy. They had their first album that came out. They had the song Daylight, but they had a album follow-up album right after that called Sidewalks that I really like. Came out in 2010. They have a song called Cameras on there, Block After Block, Red Paint, love them. Also, Woody just recently found out that I'm a big fan of Nelly Furtado.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
Nelly
Love
Furtado,
her.
Whoa Nelly is number 3 on my albums list.
All time,
And,
huh?
Yeah, I would say Turn Off the Light was on there, Ish
Okay.
on the Radio, Like a Bird, massive song that was released in 2000. And then I would say the most recent album that I would put on there, this was released in 2018, is Casey Musgraves' Golden Hour. I am going to go see Casey Musgraves.
Wow.
Yeah, in Arizona.
Like,
yeah.
what?
So
Yeah.
far, really nothing I would have expected.
Not
yeah,
at all.
totally like all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, she had Slow Burn, Oh What a World, High Horse, a ton of good stuff on there. And then number 1, I just had to pick the greatest hits albums as well because I just couldn't like figure out which album would
That's
I
a
would
cop
want.
out. A greatest hits album is a cop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
I didn't consider any of that.
I
Yeah.
didn't either, but
I had to because
My favorite playlist on Spotify.
I would say because like okay, the artist is Tupac.
Okay.
And I would say I listened to the Tupac All Eyes on Me album the
Okay,
most,
yeah.
but it doesn't have one of the songs that I like the most from Tupac.
Okay, but would it
And
be
then-
your favorite album though? Like it's got a lot of songs that you like on that
Yeah,
album.
but I
It has the
couldn't-
most
I
songs you
couldn't-
like.
I couldn't select a song out there and say this is the one that I like more than the other.
Okay. All right.
So this is why I picked Tupac's Greatest Hits album that was released in 1998 when I was graduating. What?
I like it.
Okay, and the song is called Changes.
Oh yeah, I remember that song.
It's upbeat. It has a message.
Sure.
You know? It's good. I like it a lot.
What's the song sampling?
Isn't it?
Come on, dude. It's right there.
God, I know it. Now that I'm on the spot, this is why I wouldn't do well on a game show. Because I know it. Is it Phil Collins?
It's a song called "The Way It Is."
Yeah.
Bye.
Bruce Hornsby.
Oh, Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah.
But yeah, also on the album is Dear Mama. It's a great song. I Get Around, and then Hit 'Em Up, one of the greatest diss records of all time. And then, of course, the song Changes, but all of his good songs on there. And that's my playlist there.
All right.
Awesome.
Top 5.
Surprising.
I'm bringing it up now. Hold on 1 second. Oh my God, what the hell? I swear to God, sometime this stupid system that we got here.
Yeah. The reason
It's,
I
so
said Phil
goofy.
Collins because there is another Tupac song that was redone with Phil Collins that's so good.
Oh,
See?
God,
Yeah.
this song is so good.
Well, you know, again, sucker for any song with the piano.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one that I would never turn off.
No way.
God, what a great song.
And Mandolin Rain, too. Oh.
Oh,
Banger.
Mandolin Rain.
Drums come in right about here.
It just builds.
Bing! And then the bass. Yeah. You see some changes. Someone's racist faces.
Get it.
All right, there's Menace's top 5. All right, we'll go with Raby next. Raby, your top 5.
Okay, I have one in common with Woody and one in common with Greg
Okay.
on this list. My first two are both from 1995. And what you were talking about, Woody, 1995, we were working at the same radio station, and it was just a vibe. It was a moment. And so
Yep.
my number 5 is Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Yep.
We were sitting there working when we heard You Ought to Know, and we're like, what
The hell is this?
What is this?
This is awesome.
And like you said, just nonstop bangers on that album. Now, this album, radio programmers program their stations like this album came out yesterday, and that is No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom.
They do.
Yeah, is that new, huh?
Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, why these songs are still on the radio, like, as much as they are, right? Just a Girl, Don't Speak, Excuse Me, Mister, Sunday Morning, Spider Webs. It's just back-to-back nonstop hits.
Yeah.
Now, all of my considerations, my other considerations for this list were all from 1987 because that, for me, is the greatest year
Yeah.
for albums. Music for the Masses, Depeche Mode, Document, R.E.M., In My Tribe, 10,000 Maniacs, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me from The Cure, Kick, In Excess, all came out in 1987.
God, we would have been besties.
But I did go with U2's The Joshua Tree because
That's
I
good.
love that band. I love that album. That album catapulted them to international superstardom.
Yeah.
Just still haven't found what I'm looking for. With or Without You, Streets Have No Name, Bullet the Blue Sky.
Oh, love that.
There's a reason they did just a Joshua album tour because
Yeah.
people love that album so much.
And they're always masters of like multimedia.
Yeah.
You know, it was such a visual thing.
Oh, for sure. Number 2 is what I have in common with Greg, and that's Fleetwood Mac, Rumors.
Hell yeah.
Noise.
I heard Stevie Nicks first. Like MTV,
And you hung in
MTV
there.
generation. Like the first song I actually heard was Edge of 17, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. So I love Stevie so much. I'm like, oh, what's Fleetwood Mac? And then you put on Rumors and you're like, I already know all these songs.
Right.
I know every one of these songs. The Chain, Go Your Own Way, Dreams, You Make Love and Fun, Gold Dust Woman, Secondhand
I know.
News.
All hits.
It is insane.
And it defined that decade.
For sure.
And Stevie Nicks should just legally change her name to Ruly Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She rules.
And so then my number 1 album is from 2009 because, and I think about the time of my life, we'd just been fired from San Francisco. I moved back home to Pittsburgh. My dad was kind of on the precipice of not being able to take care of himself. And I would always listen to BBC Radio 1 on Sirius.
Hello.
Because,
Hello, Raby.
Hey, it's BBC.
right, because they were so fun. I'm like, these guys get radio.
Yeah,
They remember that radio was fun. Like I felt here, radio was just a business or whatever, but they were having fun. And they kept playing this artist, Florence and the Machine. And I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
This is awesome. My number 1 album is their debut album, Lungs. And it took a long time from listening to it on BBC for this album to actually come out in the States. And you Dog Days is on there. You've Got the Love, Kissed with a
love that
Fist,
song.
drumming song, Rabbit Heart. But my favorite is Cosmic Love because this is the first Florence and the Machine song I ever heard.
Really?
So it will always be my favorite. That's what they were playing on the radio. On BBC.
On BBC.
On BBC Radio 1. And they were talking about it like it was old news, but it wasn't old news to me. I'm like, I love this.
Now, Greg, if you're not satisfied with what you find on BBC One, what can you do?
Don't even fret. If you don't like one, we've got two.
BBC Two.
We've got choices.
Yes, you've heard. We have choices.
And in our heyday, if you didn't like one or two, you could go to 3 or 4.
Yeah, get crazy.
Yeah, you got 4 to choose from.
That's number 1.
Yeah.
Florence and the
And
Machine.
I mean, it also has to do, I've had a lot of interactions with Florence over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What a
your
lovely
besties.
person.
Awesome.
She's so sweet and
Hold on,
nice.
hold on, Raby. Drop something. Hold on.
What's that?
The name.
What? I mean, it's
Yeah, no,
that
no.
helps keep an album at
No,
the
no.
forefront if you've had awesome personal
Yeah.
experiences.
Definitely.
Talking book clubs.
Yes.
Well, there's some of our top fives.
Nice.
Suck at Apple Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all subjective. It's all
course.
completely
Yeah.
arbitrary.
Like I said, half of these are like points in my life where I was like, oh my God, I
One
love this so
person's
much.
treasure is another's trash,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Definitely.
But yeah, some good stuff in there. We're gonna take the break, and then Sammy, you got one, right?
I do, yes.
All right. Well,
Should be interesting.
all right. So,
So, greatest hits.
Backstreet
Greatest
Boys,
hits.
LFO.
LFO. Yeah.
LFO.
The Wiggle.
All right, so we have one more person. We're going to go through their top 5 albums of all time. Apple Music had their list. Blows. We went through myself, Raby, Greg, and Menace's top 5 list. And now, just out of pure curiosity,
Oh, save the best for
because every
last.
time like we go, Sammy, do you know this song? Nope.
Nope.
Sammy, what about this song? No. So, now that you know these songs, these are her top 5 albums.
Yes, my number 5, you're going to laugh, but is NSYNC's debut self-titled album, NSYNC. It had so many hits on that album. Tearing Up My Heart, I Want You Back, Here We Go, God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You, Drive Myself Crazy, Giddy Up.
Yeah.
not
I mean, I
wrong.
can't
Giddy
argue. I
Up.
can't
Yeah.
argue that was a
Can-
huge album.
All
yeah,
bangers.
it was.
Yeah.
Certified bangers.
Not
Can I
skipping
sit
any
down and listen to it?
songs
No.
on that album.
No. This is yours.
My number 4 is Brad Paisley, Who Needs Pictures, which was his first album back in 1999. And the hits off of it were We Danced In, He Didn't Have to Be, but his album tracks are so funny. I don't know if a lot of people know that about Brad Paisley. So he had a lot of really funny songs on that album. Long Servin', Me Neither, It Never Would Have Worked Out Anyway, and Sleeping on the Fold Out. So that is my number.
Oh, right. Sleeping on the
4.
fold out. Remember that one, right, Greg?
Oh, totally.
Hilarious.
I have it
All
on
It is
loop.
hilarious.
Yeah.
My number 3 album is Sam Hunt, Montevello.
All right, another country artist.
Yes. He wrote that whole album for his ex-girlfriend who he was trying to win back. And Montevello is the town she grew up in, and he had so many hits off this album too, which for anyone who knows, Take Your Time, House Party,
Oh,
Make
look.
You Miss Me, Leave
Yeah.
the Night on, Cop Car,
You don't need to preach to
Preach,
me. I,
girl,
I know.
Break
I
Up in a
got
Small
you.
Town,
I got you.
Ecstasy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. Yep.
Just hit after hit. Again, not skipping any songs. My number 2, Raby and Woody both already had, which is Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, because
Nice.
it rocks.
Finally, we agree on something.
Yep.
And my number 1 album, because he's an absolute musical genius. This is the best album ever made, in my opinion, is Billy Joel's The Stranger.
Okay. That's another
So-
one.
Okay,
good.
That's another one. Man.
So many great
Yeah.
songs on the album. That
Love
it was
Billy Joel.
tough for me to even pick a number 1. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant is amazing. That's
Yeah.
not my number 1, but it's genius on so many levels. Also, Only the Good Die Young, Just the Way You Are. She's
Right.
always a woman to me. My number 1 off that album, Vienna.
Oh,
I will. Yeah, I'll listen to it over and over. I love it.
yeah. That's a great song, too.
So good.
He's great.
Amazing.
But don't imagine they'll all come true. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you?
And a fun concert, too. I
Oh,
regret
so
one
great.
regret so far, and I'm hoping is it over the Madison Square
No,
Garden
he's
Yeah.
thing?
touring across the country.
No, the
now.
residency.
Yeah, the
at
The
Madison
Residency
residency,
is done.
Oh, yeah,
but he'll be
yeah.
playing that again. I need to see Billy Joel at Madison
MSG.
Square
Yeah.
Garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a couple opportunities.
Yeah.
No, I know.
About a year.
I know. It's one of those things like, oh, I'll get around to it. I'll get around to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
buddy who works for Madison Square Garden Group, and he's like, "Oh, dude, anytime,
Yeah.
anytime, just
And you had the hookup?
yeah,
Yeah.
I just had to go."
Yeah.
Oh
Idiot,
my gosh.
idiot. All right, number 1, good pick. Good
Thank
pick.
you.
All right, more Woody shows next. Hang on.
The Woody Show. Back in a few.